Longlegs, this name doesn't really say much about what this movie is. And if you guys caught some of the marketing when this was first announced, that really didn't tell you much either. It was very odd, very strange, and they didn't give you much. And that kind of went on for a little while until maybe they give you a little bit more, but definitely different than most things that we usually get. Even the trailer I believe was a little bit short. And a lot of, I know, some other horror fans really liked it. Even some other media outlets I know really liked and appreciated them really kind of doing something different and not giving away a lot here with the marketing for it. I guess I can kind of comment a little bit more on that in a second, but not knowing too much about this film, let's read the description here on IMDb and maybe get a better clue what's happening here. In pursuit of a serial killer, an FBI agent uncovers a series of occult clues that she must solve to end the terrifying killing spree. So yeah, definitely when you read that, you definitely kind of can hone in on more about what is happening here in this film. But like I said, the marketing was very mysterious about it and didn't give you some of these clues, maybe occult or not, about what this film was. And from someone who kind of pushes trailers and images and promotes horror as I do, it was refreshing to kind of see. I know not everybody appreciates, all the trailers that I put out and share, and that the ad nauseum that I share the posters and the trailers and the images. Sometimes people just don't want to know. But unfortunately that's kind of what Promote Horror does. So it is what it is. I will let you guys know, and I think I've said it, many a time before. A lot of these trailers I don't watch myself. I just don't, because I'm one of those ones. I don't want to know, especially if it's something I really, really want to see, something I really, really want to look forward to. I won't watch, but unfortunately, sometimes I do ruin it for myself too, because I can't avoid certain things within doing the press releases and sharing images and sharing trailers. Sometimes I do catch clips and these things. So if you're out there hating on me because I ruined it for you, I've ruined it for myself plenty of times too. I'll give you a prime example. I haven't done a whole lot, but we did share some of the stuff for Terrifier 3 that's coming out, the posters and some of the images and the trailer, of course. I have not watched the trailer for that, and I'm no plans on doing it at all. So, while I've, of course, shared it, and probably shared it a lot, I have not. So that's just an example for you guys. But anyway, let's really dive into this movie here. New movie. It's been out for a little while now, so I know, many of you might have already seen this. But, some of you might be late to it, kind of like I am. So I will kind of keep this spoiler-free. There are twists and turns towards the end of it. And I think that's kind of what you might expect here, especially, they did a really good job of hiding what's going on here in this movie. So they definitely going to have something for you here at the end. So I'll definitely try to keep that hidden from you guys as much as possible. But yeah, as it's kind of mentioned, the movie's going to follow this FBI agent. Early on in the film, you're going to see her with her partner in the middle of a case, solve a case. She did a good job of kind of finding this person when, maybe her partner didn't necessarily think that this was the right person or right location or whatever. So that kind of helped springboard her into the Longlegs case and being the person really in charge of trying to find Longlegs. As the film kind of rolls on, obviously, like I said, it's going to follow much of her, and it's going to kind of go backwards in her past, and we're going to see flashbacks of her past, a couple of particular scenes, and as you kind of watch this, you're going to wonder, why are we seeing this? Well, it's all going to help in her solving this case, and to kind of give you guys, a clue of, how she's, solving this case, and what kind of makes her different, and so forth, and to help her, help her kind of solve it. Longlegs himself, we do get almost a complete shot of this Longlegs character early on in the film. Maybe not a complete view. As the film kind of goes on, you'll eventually find out who this person is, and see the complete view of this person. Definitely a strange, odd character, and definitely, I think the way it is, and I'm trying to be kind of spoiler free here with saying what this Longlegs character is doing, is while they might, this person might not necessarily be doing the killing, there's a killing spree going on, and I guess the best way to say it is they're influencing this murder spree that's kind of going on. And I'll kind of leave it at that, but definitely some bad stuff is going on. Definitely there's a cycle to it, a pattern to it, and it is all up to this FBI agent to kind of solve. Like I said, there are twists and turns. I think at the end, it unpacks in a very good way, interesting way. Completely hidden or not, maybe some of the things you guys will catch on to as it goes on. I don't think that I was as honed in on it, trying to look for this, look for a twist and turn in it. I just kind of watched it. So, I can't really say whether it was fairly obvious or all of it was obvious or not. I think, there might be one or two things you might be surprised about, and maybe one or two things that you might not be surprised about. I think if you're maybe completely locked in on it, maybe you'll see some of the things coming. But I did like, what eventually happened. I didn't have an issue of, what eventually happens and how it ended and so forth. I thought it was all fine and a good eventual story. And you kind of see how it ends and then thinks about everything that's happened. They did piece it together rather well. The one thing that I think, as this film was kind of going on, and I don't know if you guys kind of had that experience, for those who have seen the movie, I just kept thinking of Silence of the Lambs. I know that, Hannibal's different than Longlegs. They're two different people. Longlegs was free. I guess I should say more like Buffalo Bill. Clarice was, really looking for him, and, Hannibal was already locked up. So I should say probably more like that, more like looking for Buffalo Bill. And I didn't do any extra reading. I don't know if that was an inspiration for this or whatever. But I don't know. I just thought about that. It was an FBI agent looking for this person and whatever. It just kept crossing my mind. So I don't know if that's something that crossed your minds, if for those who have seen it or not. Obviously two different stories and two different things going on here. And she's certainly, the girl here is not talking to anybody here like a Hannibal to solve this case. It is just drawing from her feelings and her experience, and some other things along the way. But I don't know, as this kind of went on, it just kept crossing my mind a couple of times. So, what else to say? Nicolas Cage plays Longlegs. After you get to Longlegs is fully kind of revealed. Like I said, you get to see part of him early on. Later on, in the film, you get to see him in the full. Get to hear him in the full or more. You do hear and see a little bit, like I said, of him, early in the film, and as the movie kind of goes on. But there would be a point where you really get to experience him. As you see this Longlegs character and so forth, I think It was perfect for Nicolas Cage. Just this really odd, strange character with some odd things to say, and definitely a very interesting look. Uh, Looked more like a person who had been locked in the snow for a long time and was defrosting. I don't know. Definitely has an interesting look to them, and so forth. So I definitely think that the casting is very good. Maika, or probably butcher her name, Monroe is the FBI agent. Nicolas Cage is Longlegs, and like I said, he's perfectly cast for this. Definitely he can play that strange, odd kind of character like this. So definitely nailed that. Blair Underwood is another. I guess the woman's partner or superior, more probably a little bit more superior, but definitely someone else that's involved in trying to help her solve this case. So the casting here is done pretty perfectly, and done really well. So yeah, Nicolas Cage just nailing down another horror movie. Like I've said before, in some movies he's just really strange and odd, and in some roles, he just will not, find the normal role to play in most of these movies. He's always got to be the odd character there, or even when he tries to play the normal character, there's just something just different or weird about him. But yes, Longlegs, once you get to experience Longlegs, and Longlegs is eventually revealed to you guys, and you get to see them, is definitely an interesting person here. Like I said, the end of the movie, no issue there. I liked how everything is kind of resolved, and kind of what happens. It is a little bit different, and maybe a little maybe of a stretch of something different than what we see from usual serial killers. Like I said, and I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give it away. But just what Longlegs eventually is doing, and what you see that they're doing, and what eventually happens. So it's not so much cut and dry, as sometimes it usually is. So yeah, and I don't know, I was kind of trying to think of what people were saying on Twitter when it first came out. I know a lot of horror fans seem to like it, enjoy it. I thought, if I remember correctly, some thought you said that it, might be a little bit scary or whatever. Well, I don't really think it ever reached that level. You really don't get into, I know there's the opening scene, but even that doesn't really get too far into it. You don't really get too much of anything, truly terrifying and scary, until everything's kind of revealed in the end. And it is, and it definitely ends in an intense way. And that's finally when you kind of get more into the serial killing, a little bit more of the blood and so forth, whatever. Not a whole lot of it, not as much as you guys know that I want to see. But yeah, you really have to wait till then. A lot of it is kind of this back and forth and mystery of who Longlegs is, and this FBI agent trying to figure it out. So I don't really know that it got too scared. Like, if you're scared of Longlegs, okay, you want to be scared of a killer that looks like Jack Frost or whatever, I don't know. Go for it. But I don't know that it was that terrible scary or anything like that. So with that, I still enjoyed it. Still like the little bit of the twist and kind of where the story went. I don't think it was blowing anything out of the water here, or super different or anything like that. But certainly was good. And what it did, and getting from the beginning and kind of unpacking everything, and kind of leaving you the mystery and the trail, and then what eventually happened. So I think it was a very solid, good movie. Like I said, the casting was definitely A+. I liked everybody's role and what they did and contributed, and thought everybody played their part really well. So I think I'm gonna give it 3.5 pools of blood. I enjoyed it, really liked it. and so forth. You know, I won't assume that this movie will, or it just seems like from the vibe of what I've seen, you know, will end up on some people's top 10. I don't know if it will for me. Um, you know, I just, you know, as I've gone along this year, I just think a lot of solid movies, good movies. But you know, I think some of the bigger ones that I've seen, I don't necessarily know. I don't know. It might just come down to they're there just because they're of their titles and because maybe they're better than just some of the other stuff, but maybe not, super, fantastic or blowing me away. I don't know. Maybe it's just me or something. I don't know. But yeah, so I'm going to give it 3.5 pools of blood out of 5. Yeah, I'll go with that, and we'll leave it at that. So, horrorreviews.blogspot.com is where you can find all of my reviews, written and video. Certainly, you have to go back always for written ones, so you can like and subscribe to just catch video reviews if you want, like everybody wants you to do here on YouTube. If not, no worries, it is okay. I thank you for your time regardless, whether it's on watching some reviews or in the short section or however else you're connecting here. So speaking of that, Twitter, Facebook information down below as well. Feel free to reach out, follow there as well. If not, it's okay. But talk horror, reach out if you want me to review something, and definitely in the comment section you can do the same there. And definitely once you see this movie, feel free to comment, and definitely your thoughts on Nicolas Cage as Longlegs in the character. I think I put the other day on Twitter, who's going to dress as Longlegs for Halloween. So if you are or you plan to, send pics. I will retweet them or throw that in the comment section so that I know. I definitely want to see that. So yeah, with that, I guess I'll catch you on the next review, horror fans.